Megan. I'm the occupational therapist here at RPI, and I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the thumb today and then recognizing a healthy versus an unhealthy thumb. I chose this because of all the people that come into the clinic and see me. I specialize in the upper extremity, shoulder down to hand. A huge number of people it is for thumb problems, and a lot of them are preventative due to strain. So just getting into the thumb joint, it's a very flexible joint. It goes many different directions, kind of like the shoulder, if you were to imagine how far your shoulder can move. A general rule in the body is you can't be flexible and stable. So the more flexible a joint is, the more prone to instability it becomes. That's especially true at the thumb. But because it's also prone to so much strain, we carry a lot of force through our hands, and we use them in ways that we shouldn't necessarily use them. A ton of people end up with arthritis of this basal joint of the thumb. So a marker of a healthy thumb is one, pain-free motion. Also, there's an arch. When you make this OK sign, you can see from here to here to here, all three joints of your hand, it's maintained a curve. That arch is really integral to the function of your thumb. If it's an unhealthy thumb, this second joint starts to hyperextend like this. It caves from a pretty, arch like that in. That means all of the force of whatever you're pinching or holding is coming back to this basal joint of the thumb. It causes a lot of pain and overuse over time. So aside from pain-free motion and that arch, another one is an adducted thumb. So you should be able, your resting hand look like this. If you notice your thumb starts to kind of push forward like this, that's your body's attempt with muscles to hold it stable. You'll notice that you don't have that much range coming out this direction. And it's because this muscle in between in that web space is getting so tight. Sometimes you'll even have a noticeable bump right here of where that joint is pushed forward. Now don't necessarily fear, it's not irreversible, although arthritis can be hard to manage. There are things you can do to keep your thumb more flexible. The first one is just gentle movement. Getting that thumb moving out to the side, out in front of you, and across your palm. Those are the three directions it tends to move. Another one is releasing this web space, the muscle in it, that pulls your thumb in. You can do that simply by pinching with these two fingers and your thumb at the very base, and it's a tender spot that doesn't get a ton of massage. You pinch and hold it about 30 seconds to a minute, and as you do it, you can even be trying to spread your thumb and fingers apart. That will help it to release. You'll notice if you have one of those thumbs that's tight in here, after you do this, maybe 2 weeks or so, I wouldn't say 100% better, but you have more movement and a more pain-free thumb because that musculature is looser and freer, and the joint can get better blood flow as it moves. Another way is through supporting the thumb with strengthening. So once you have, severe arthritis or something here, that does do lasting damage to a joint. But you can support it with the muscles around the thumb. This motion, although it seems pretty absurd, combines most of the demand of your hand. So all of the intrinsic muscles of your hand, that means they start and end inside your hand. They're really small. They do things like this, bring your thumb out, and they can be combined into this motion. You work a majority of them. It ends up being that pinch. I love the soap bottle because it forces you to hold that hand in that direction, and you can tell if it's weak, it's going to be really hard to do it. Slowly bring it to the top. If you're at home trying to strengthen, hold it for about 5 seconds and slowly relax. It shouldn't be painful. Doing it as best as you can in a pain-free range is going to be your best way of supporting that joint. Beyond that, there are some activities that are still going to be painful. You know, I've strengthened the musculature, I've got pain-free range, and this muscle is looser. It still hurts when I do the laundry, when I walk the dog, those kinds of things. And then we get into splinting, some external supports for that joint. So there's different kinds, and I'm just going to show you two. One is a soft splint. And what I like about this one, and if you're looking for any at the store, things you should be looking for as well, if that pain you get in your thumb is at the base, you want something that's going to push and apply pressure at that base, pushing up, because this joint, it tends to dislocate posteriorly, coming backwards. So like this splint, you see it has this long strap, it pulls up and then wraps around your wrist. So you'll see where that band crosses, right here, the majority of pressure exerted through that splint is right here, pushing that joint of your thumb up. It gives it support so that when you're using it, it doesn't dislocate backwards. Those soft splints are really good if you need to be able to move while still wearing a splint and getting some support. If your pain is still occurring with that and it's beyond a soft splint, that's when we get into making custom splints, which we do here. So this one's made custom to me. It immobilizes that basal joint. It allows a bend at the rest of my thumb. I can still use it, but this joint that's so sore and inflamed is not able to move, so I can function without it being supported. There's also a lot of methods of just protecting your joints in general, things to do and not do with your joints, which we're going to get into in a little while because they apply to a lot of principles of the hand. So hope you benefited from that overview of the thumb, trying to maintain a healthy thumb and recognize if your thumb fits into that category of otherwise.